All right, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. A little bit of a rebrand. So new name, going to the winning ticket. Like the name, rush name when I created the channel. So a little bit of time to kind of reflect, pick something that I liked. So welcome to the channel. Subscribe if you haven't. Give the video a thumbs up, comment down below, join the Discord, absolutely free. We hit several nice little parlays yesterday. Gave out T. Higgins first touchdown. That was plus 750. Gave out like a plus 562 college football parlay. Just a lot of cool people hitting. Great community. 45 people in there right now. So we're slowly building up the community. But if you love to talk sports, sweat, share bets, it's the place to be. Very cool. Loving it. But anyway, we've got a big card today. So we've got NBA, we've got NFL. Let's get into that, dive into it, break it down. You guys can use the timestamps down below. I know this is coming out later than normal. Apologies. Just had some things going on. Anniversary today. So it's awesome. So let's delve into that. So NBA, Nets and the Magic. Orlando minus 6.5. I don't like it. Give me Brooklyn plus 6.5. We've got some key pieces coming back for Brooklyn today, so I do like this spot for Brooklyn. That said, it's Sunday. I don't love betting NBA on Sunday, full transparency. That said, there are some plays that I think have a lot of value today, but in terms of picking money lines, not my bag on Sundays, but we're getting Cam Thomas, Cam Johnson back today. Two huge pieces for the Nets. So I do like the Nets today, and I like Ben Simmons over 6.5 assists. I like Goga Bitadze to have a double-double today. So those are my two bets in that game. Pacers and the Celtics. Celtics absolutely blew the doors off the Pacers in TD Garden the other day. No reason to think things would be different today. That said, I'm not touching an 11.5, but I mean, if I had to pick a team, Boston minus 11.5. Although there could be value on a Sunday, taking Pacers money line plus 480 might be worth a little sprinkle, to be honest with you. Hawks and the Raptors. Hawks minus 1.5 against the Raptors at home. This has Sunday weird game vibes written all over it. The fact that the Hawks are only minus 1.5 against Toronto is super weird. It's a fade for me because of that. I would lean towards the under 240.5. That's the only play I would take in that one. The Grizz and the Thunder. This is probably the marquee game of the day. Memphis plus 6.5. No John Morant today, so I think that's why we're seeing them getting 6.5. I love the pace they play. Should be a pretty quick pace game. Over 230.5 looks kind of appealing, to be honest with you. But without Ja, just a little bit skittish on this. I don't trust OKC minus 6.5. So probably a game I just want to enjoy. But I would lean more towards that over 230.5. I think we're going to see a pretty quick pace game with some shots being made. Heat and the Rockets should be a fairly good game. I think 8.5 against Miami Heat might be a little too much, but again, they live and die by the 3, and I can't trust that. So play I do like in this game is going to be fade Tyler Hero. I like his under 3.5 3-pointers made. No Jimmy Butler today. That means Duncan Robinson's going to be in there. He's going to be popping a ton of threes. So I think Hero's going to act more as a facilitator today. So I think we'll see his rebounds and assist line be pretty decent. Again, I just don't really trust overs with Tyler. So I'll take his under in that. I would lean towards the under 216.5 in this game. That's where I'm at with that. And then last game, Spurs and the T-Wolves. We see the Spurs getting 6.5. T-Wolves just not been performing overly well, man. I have not been satisfied with how they've been playing. We see an over-under of 215.5, which is really low for a Timberwolves game. I would lean more towards the over. I think Wemby should have a pretty decent day, to be honest with you. Don't want to touch any Gobert props. I think he could get himself in foul trouble early. So nothing I like in this game, in my opinion. So that's where I'm at there. Let's jump to the NFL. We've got some scenarios we're going to talk about here. Some playoff implications. There's a lot of things happening today. A lot of games that don't matter as well. So it's a day you want to be real careful, to be honest with you. In the AFC here, so we got the Jets and the Bills. I mean, I think the Bills are going to want to win this game. The Bills clinched the second seed with a win today. So there is some importance here. I think 10 is a pretty hefty amount. Weather is going to be a little bit of rain, 20-mile-an-hour winds. It's just kind of dumpy weather to be trusting a minus 10. That said, I have zero faith in the Jets, so I would probably bump this down. I do think points are scored. The Bills have been known to give up some points. So over 44.5 does look appealing, to be honest with you. I think Buffalo is able to move the ball. Yeah, I would lean a geared down Buffalo mixed with taking the over. That's how I would play that one. Panthers and the Bucks. The Bucks are still in it today. They need the Commanders to lose, but they've got to go out and get their business done. So it's going to be at home in Tampa. Weather looked pretty decent. Chuba Hubbard is on the IR now, so it's Blackshear and Mike Boone are going to be your two ball carriers. Kind of like Blackshear over 8.5 rushing attempts, but there's just not enough data there for me to feel comfortable pulling the trigger. So I'm not going to there. Give me Tampa Bay, although 10.5 is just, it's so absurd. It makes me want to take Carolina with the points. Carolina plus 10.5 is the only feasible way. I like the over 47.5 in this one. I do think Carolina is able to score. I think Tampa is able to score. So this should be a nice little Tampa Bay shootout today. So I'd lean more towards the over. Maybe a dumbed down, kind of the same thing in the Bills game. Just take a dumbed down version. Do something like that. So that's where I'm at there. Jaguars and the Titans. This game has zero implications. Nothing matters in this game. It's just two terrible teams playing each other. I mean, flip a coin. Don't touch this game. 37.5 is ridiculous for an over-under. I don't trust Mason Rudolph. There's maybe Thomas receiving yard. It's just such a bad game. Complete fade for me. Colts and the Giants. Colts are still in this thing, so the Colts need to win today to stay alive. Obviously, you got the Colts, the Broncos, the Bengals, kind of all vying, and the Dolphins in there vying for some spots. So it is an important game for the Colts. Giants are absolutely terrible. Give me Indy in this one again. 7.5. It's just not good. I think the Giants are actually able to score today. I would lean more towards the over 40.5, to be honest with you. It just feels like a weird day where the Giants are going to do something. That's just kind of how I feel. No Anthony Richardson in this one, so I do think that Jonathan Taylor has a day today. Give me over 100 yards rushing at plus money. So I love that at plus 105 on DraftKings. Las Vegas Raiders and the New Orleans Saints, a game that has no relevancy, a terrible game, but I do love Aiden O'Connell under his passing and rushing yards. So that is a lean on me, but in terms of picking a winner, I mean, Vegas -2 looks pretty stout. I don't trust this New Orleans Saints team. Don't trust the Raiders either. So just an absolute terrible game. Probably lean towards the under 37.5, to be honest with you. That's bad. It's just bad football being played there. All right, Cowboys and the Eagles. I mean, this still has some relevancy for the Eagles. They can clinch the NFC East with a win today. No Jalen Hurts, so it's going to be Kenny Pickett. No CeeDee Lamb on the Dallas side. That said, 7.5. It's still a decent amount for a Kenny Pickett-led team. I think Saquon has an absolute day. He is going to try to break the rushing record. I think he's 238 yards away-ish. So I think he has a very nice day. His line's pretty high. I wouldn't mind going over it still. But yeah, -7.5, that's pretty stout. I would lean probably towards the over 37.5 is kind of what I like. But I don't mind taking like Philly's money line and bump it down. That's another one. So I think Phillies get the job done today. But 7.5 is kind of a perfectly placed number. Books are very, very sharp today on the money lines and spreads today. All right, Dolphins and the Browns. Dolphins need to win to stay alive. Tyler Huntley is the QB today going up against DTR for Cleveland. It almost feels like Cleveland's just trying to lose at this point. Putting DTR in instead of Winston. I mean, he was awful last week. So I like both these QBs to go under their passing yards. I would actually lean towards the under 33.5. I like Jason Sanders to make 2 field goals today. That's about it. But yeah, we saw the Tyler Huntley show for a while Tua was out, and that was pretty ugly. So I don't trust that he's going to throw for, like 178, something like that, whatever his passing yards are. Don't necessarily trust it. But it's also the Browns, so it's a fade spot for me. Packers and the Vikings. Important game for the Vikings. So for the Vikings, they need to beat the Packers today to set up a Week 18 showdown to vie for the division. So very important game for them today. I think they're going to be going hard. Give me the Vikings minus 1.5. I mean, the Packers, they're locked into the wild card round, really not playing for much. So Vikings at home still with something on the line. Give me the Vikings here minus 1.5. All right, Falcons and the Commanders, two teams that actually matters. Falcons are, let's see, if the Commanders win today, they're in the playoffs. So this is a big game for the Commanders. The Falcons need to win in order to keep going. So this will be one where they hope to win and hope Tampa Bay loses. So they're still vying for their division as well. So this is a game with some relevancy here. That said, do I trust Michael Penix? I mean, he looked pretty decent last week. Commanders are just a better team. So Washington minus 3.5 feels pretty good. Again, it's like perfectly placed line. Probably go down to -3. That way I'm bringing some push potential into play. But give me the Commanders in this spot. And then Detroit Lions, Monday night game. So we'll talk about that, but that should be a very interesting one. But let's get into the best bets, get you guys on your way. But before that, like I said, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Join the Discord. It's absolutely free. Link is down below. But yeah, so starting off the card, we'll start with the NBA. Give me Goga Bitadze to get a double-double today. I like him to get this line. I think he should. His points props at like 12.5, 13.5, depending on the book. Rebound lines at 10.5. So we just want the double-double out of him. Give me Ben Simmons over 6.5 assists. He's over this in 5 straight home games. He's getting Cam Thomas, Cam Johnson back today. I think that'll be huge. We just got to hope they make some shots. The only thing that would kill this if they're a little rusty with the shooting. Tyler Hero under 3.5 3-pointers made. We already talked about this today. He's only over this in 5 of his last 10. Houston 6th in 3 points made to the shooting guard position. I just expect him to be more of a facilitator today. Duncan Robinson's going to be taking a ton of threes. Hopefully he's making them so Hero doesn't have to. Give me RJ Barrett over 1.5 3-pointers made. Atlanta 30th in 3-pointers made to the shooting guard position. And he's over this in 8 of his last 10 games at home. So this should be a very quick paced game. Lots of shots, lots of possessions. I like him to go over this line today. Give me Nick Claxton under 8.5 rebounds. He's only over this in 3 of his last 10 games. Orlando is 3rd in rebounds allowed to the center position. He's played these guys twice in the past month, and he's had 7 rebounds in both games. 7 rebounds on November 29th, 7 rebounds December 1st. So I like him to go under his line today. Give me Zach Edey to go over 8.5 rebounds. He's starting to see increased playing time. He's over this in 3 straight games. Oklahoma 26th in rebounds to the center position. So we've got a great angle there. We cashed Zach Edey last night, actually. We gave out some parlay last night, I want to say. I don't know. It's all a blur. But yeah, we cashed Zach Edey. Aiden O'Connell. Under 239.5 passing plus rushing yards. This dude's got a broken finger. He really doesn't run much, so including the rush only helps us. Could it burn us? Yeah, I guess, but I don't think so. Again, just nothing left to play for these teams. There's not a lot of deep down the field threats here. I mean, Jacoby Myers is a short range guy. Bowers is a short range guy. Shouldn't be throwing too many balls 20 plus yards here. So it's more of a dink and dunk kind of offense they got running with Aiden O'Connell. And I'm not even sure he survives the game. So give me his under here. Bucky Irving over 16.5 longest rush. I went back and forth on this. I think his yards prop is very, very inflated because Carolina sucks against the rush. I just don't know if I trust him to get 90 plus yards, but I do think he's going to break off a long run. So I like his over longest rush. He's only over this in 4 last 10, but like I said, Carolina is just horrendous in rushing yards allowed. So give me that today. Jonathan Taylor, 100 plus rush yards, plus 105 on DK. He's over this in 5 of his last 10. We've got no Anthony Richardson today to kind of steal his rushing yards. So Flacco, not the most mobile dude ever. So I expect them to hand off a lot. So I think Taylor has a very nice day. Give me Sam Darnold over 32.5 passing attempts. He's over this in 5 of his last 10, 3 of 5 versus Green Bay. I think Green Bay is still able to score, so they're going to have to pass. They really have not had any success. Aaron Jones has not been too good on the ground lately, so I think Darnold's going to have to rely on throwing the ball today. Give me Malik Neighbors over 5.5 receptions. This feels like a steal. It's over this in 8 of his last 10. Colts do give up receptions. It's not like they're locked down. So I like him to go over his line. And then give me Jason Sanders and Matt Gay over 1.5 field goals each. Sanders is over in 8 of his last 10. Gay just has a perfect matchup today, so he might get 3 or more. So those are the plays today, guys. And then, like I said, if you want to join the Discord, we're doing the ladder as well. We hit the 10 to 20. We hit the 20 to 40 yesterday. So we've got day 3 here. So anyway, appreciate you guys. Like the video, comment down below, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.